Hi my yoga friends, I'm Gina, this is Lavender and Lunch. Today we're going over a how-to video, and I'm really excited about this video because it is one of my all-time favorite yoga poses. We are going to be doing a child's pose, or in Sanskrit, balasana. We're going to go over the how, the why, and the modify, and so I'm sure everybody at some point in their life has gone into child's pose. But in talking about how do we get into it, why do we practice it, and then those modifications that'll make it more comfortable and easier to get into will just make it the next time you go into it that much easier and that much more comfortable. So if you like these videos and other videos, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. The only prop that you're going to need today is going to be a little blanket, so go ahead and grab that before we get started. And whenever you're ready, I will see you on the mat. Alright, we are going to start off by coming just in this little kneeling position, but I'm going to turn so I'm a long ways on my mat so that you can see me. Getting into child's pose is very, very simple, and the way that we can get into it, just a normal child's pose, I'll kind of walk you through a few different variations, but the easiest way to get into it is in this kneeling. And I understand this kneeling pose is very hard for a lot of folks. So stay with me. I'll go over how do we modify this. But for those of you that feel comfortable getting into the how, we're just going to begin to walk our hands down, really elongating that torso, keeping a long back here, and then just reach those hands out in front of you. And then whenever you're ready, you can drop the head and neck. And what I like to tell students is you can have a little added bonus here by kind of rocking the forehead back and forth on your mat. So go ahead and try that. And then whenever you're ready, go ahead and come back up. So obviously, this is going to be challenging for a lot of different folks. Somebody that has really tight thighs, this is going to be hard for. Anybody that has really tight ankles, this will be pretty challenging for. If you're pregnant, so be very careful. And like I said, hang tight. I will give modifications for all of those individuals that kind of struggle with it. Another option here is going to do a wide-legged child's pose. So go ahead and draw those knees out to the sides of your mat. This is going to create kind of a V shape with your inner thighs. And then again, just go ahead and walk those hands forward and then come into that child's pose. Whenever you're ready, we'll go ahead and come back up. As always, whenever we go into our child's pose, we want to take a deep breath before going into it, and then as we fold forward, we want to take a nice deep exhale. And then as we breathe through it, we want to imagine that we're kind of breathing in through our back, because we rarely ever do that. We're always breathing right here in our chest. And so it's nice to kind of have that imagery of breathing into the back, because that expands that diaphragm that we really should be breathing through. And so that kind of goes over how to get into your standard child's pose and then your wide-legged child's pose. Now that we've talked about the how, let's talk about the why. Why do we practice this? Well, it's a great way to gently open up those hips, open up the thighs, and then open up those ankles as we rest on them. And those are areas in the body that we're perpetually tight in. So again, if you're one of those people that is an athlete or just rarely works out or rarely stretches, you will notice that those muscles are going to be pretty tight. So this is a nice, gentle way to kind of stretch out those muscles in the body. Another reason that we practice this is it's supposed to be a very relaxing, kind of almost restorative pose. So the only reason it's not restorative is we don't have all those props with us, but it is a very, very relaxing way to kind of de-stress, take a moment for yourself. And so you'll notice if you're in a yoga class, whenever the teacher says, and then find child's pose, everybody kind of takes a sigh of relief, because it's just a nice little opportunity to chill. And then now that we've gone over the how and the why, let's talk about the modify, because this is very important. grab that blanket that I had mentioned at the beginning of class, and we're gonna go ahead and place it underneath of our thighs and on top of our calves. And this is gonna give us a little height here. So as opposed to just having that full flexibility in our thighs and being able to go all the way back, this gives us a little bit of support so that we don't have to stretch out the thighs as much. And again, if you're one of those people that has those tight ankles, what you can do too is put it underneath of the ankles. So just play around with it. See if you have tight ankles, if you have tight thighs. What you can do is just have blanket on blanket on blanket. So you can put a blanket in between your thighs and then underneath of the ankles. Just kind of see where you are, what feels good. And then again, you'll take that deep inhale. Exhale as you come down, and then just extend those arms out and then drop the head and neck. So that's kind of the how, the why, and the modify. If you are pregnant, definitely practice that wide-legged child's pose, and then make sure that you've kind of talked to your doctor beforehand and make sure you're cleared for yoga, and then try to have a teacher there with you to kind of spot you and support you as you're going into that pose. I hope you enjoyed this how, why, modify as we've gone through our Balasana or child's pose. If you like these how-to videos, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time for another how-to video. Bye y'all.